With Halloween right on the corner, we'll have a complete coverage of costume ideas and the Halloween review.
MystiCast starts right now. Thanks for joining us on this episode of MystiCast. I am Nick Zeroff.
And I'm Levi Holzer. Bismarck State College students shopping for great deals don't have to wait until holiday season to find them. As MystiCast found out, the bookstore offers many discounts.
For every home game, if you shop before noon, you get 35% off all our regular price apparel. Anything from noon to 4 p.m. is 30% off all apparel.
The bookstore offers the opportunity to sell your books back for cash. For more information, go to shopbookstore.bismarckstate.edu.
With Halloween creeping around the corner, the Sidney J. Lee Auditorium on BSC campus opened its doors to the public for a special treat. The thirst for the production brought one student from Minnesota. Theater students, mostly from Bismarck, brought the 1897 novel of Dracula to life with a live-action adaptation.
The play is an adaptation of the Bram Stoker novel Dracula, the classic horror vampire novel. In fact, I think it's the first vampire book. And it's all about how a group of people in England discover that Count Dracula has a plan for world domination to come over from Transylvania and invade London and then the world with his unholy vampire armies.
I love the dark, melodramatic tone of the play. It's overall just a really fun time.
I picked this play for a couple of reasons. Typically in the fall, traditionally since I've been here, this is my fourth year at BSC, I've directed comedies, and it just felt like I wanted to change up a little bit and do something a little more dramatic, a little more action-packed. But also I think it's really befitting of the Halloween season.
The play ran from October 18th through the 21st, and more than 600 were in attendance. Crowds were roaring for the Bismarck State volleyball team on October 10th. Not just for our team, but for a great cause. The annual Pink Night held right here on campus raised money for the Women's Way of North Dakota in the Bismarck-Mandan area. MystiCast anchor and reporter Levi Holzer brings us the story.
Pink. Sure, it's a color, but in October it has more meaning than that. On October 10th, the BSC volleyball team held their annual Pink Night against Dawson Community College to help raise money for Women's Way of North Dakota. There was a raffle drawing, shirts for $10, and a $1 serving contest to help pay for breast and cervical cancer screenings.
For our breast cancer awareness match, all proceeds from tonight's match, including the gate, t-shirt sales, raffle tickets, 50-50 raffle, and our serving contest, money all go to our local Women's Way chapter organization here in Bismarck-Mandan.
For more information on Women's Way North Dakota, you can visit their website at www.ndhealth.gov/Women's Way. Reporting for Mystic Media, I'm Levi Holzer.
The game raised more than $1,700 for Women's Way.
With the rise of digital media and a focus on more digital news and social media, many are saying that print is dying.
Most of the publishers would say, wow.
Bill Osendorf, a veteran member of print media and founder of Creative Circle, says technology may not be to blame. His company, dedicated to the improvement of print newspapers, says that actions being taken by the media are directly leading to the death of print.
Yeah, it's really tragic. I think we do a terrible job of selling ourselves and explaining why we're valuable.
Osendorf believes that media's push for digital material and national coverage, as well as many other decisions, have led to the downfall of local paper. Many members of local papers were in attendance for his presentations. Here's hoping they learn something new.
Boys Club jamborees and the tiniest things. So we had a local section, and then we had a state section, and then we had, all the rest of the paper, and it was really a very good paper and had great penetration. But it doesn't anymore. It's been bought by a chain, and they got rid of all that, and we went from 285 reporters, I think they have 30 people in there.
Osendorf's company, Creative Circle, has a website with tips on how to lay out an appealing newspaper, as well as other graphical media. You can check it out at creativecirclemedia.com.
On this episode of Music Spotlight, Russell Spencer introduces us to another unique genre, dream punk.
Dream punk is a genre fusion of both cyberpunk music, think Blade Runner, and vaporwave. Unlike traditional vaporwave, which relies more on samples and sometimes unhealthy amounts of memes, dream punk is unique in its lack of most, if any, samples. On today's Music Spotlight, we'll cover 3 great albums in the genre that represents a variety of styles. 2814 is a power duo of two of the heavy hitters in the vaporwave genre, HKE and Telepath. The sophomore album, Birth of a New Day, sent shockwaves around the scene on its release in early 2015. It is one of the best-selling albums in the entire vaporwave genre. While not quite as huge as the above duo is, Sangam and Wuso are also very popular artists in dream punk. The duo worked together to drop this EP back in July, and it instantly became one of my favorite EPs. Its short length, about 13 minutes, doesn't stop it from hitting the core themes of a dream punk album. The final artist we will cover is Helen, who, despite being lesser known than the other artists we discussed today, is by no means any less good. The entire album is chock full of unique sounds and will put you right into the cyber mood. That's all for this MystiCast's Music Spotlight. Next time, I'll be bringing the energy back up with a brief look into the dark synth genre. I'm Russell Spencer, thank you for watching.
Well, it definitely felt a little like spring yesterday, but how's our forecast looking for this week, Daniel? Are the temperatures warmer?
Yeah, Nick, we had a really nice day, and we will see that trend continue for a few days, 62 degrees today and Friday. But get your umbrella out because we could see the possibility of rain and 57 degrees. Now for Sunday, 54 degrees. And continuing on throughout the next week, we will see those temperatures right around average for this time of year. Now for the Halloween forecast, it looks like 45 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Now next Thursday, there is the chance of snow and a high of 42 degrees. I'm Daniel Burbank, and back over to the news desk.
Are you planning on voting this November? BC recently held a student mock vote polling where students could educate themselves on candidates and what they support. They also had a chance to vote on North Dakota measures. 61% of students and faculty voted for Heidi Heitkamp, while 39% voted for Kevin Kramer. Kelly Armstrong and Max Schneider are tied with 41%. Josh Boshi led with 43%. Wayne Steinsman led with 61%. Doug Gehring with 72%. Randy Chrisman with 31%. Randy Rauschenberger and Kyle Overson both tied at 50%. And Lisa McEvers with 58%. 73% of students voted in favor of Measure 1. 72% voted yes on Measure 2, 64% voted yes for Measure 3, and 79% of students voted in favor of Measure 4.
With Halloween fast approaching, MystiCast reporter Petra Davison shows us different options for last-minute costume ideas. Those were some interesting Halloween ideas. Ready for Halloween, Levi?
No, not really.
Okay. If you are wanting to see a scary movie this Halloween season, reporter Justine Smith gives us a review on producer John Carpenter and Jason Blum's newest 2018 Halloween.
Classic horror films. You have Freddy, Jason, and you have Michael. Which one's your favorite? Executive producer John Carpenter teams up with leading producer Jason Blum to create Halloween's finest film of horror yet, at least in my opinion. In the original, Michael is a disturbed child that kills his big sister Judith on Halloween night. The story takes us 15 years later to Michael coming back to finish the job. He stalks through the town of Haddonfield like the boogeyman, killing any teenage babysitter that gets in his way. Before I get into how crazy scary this newest Halloween is, I have to talk a little bit about my favorite character, Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis returns once again as Laurie Strode in a role that screams with woman empowerment. Over the years, Laurie has managed to slip away from Michael every time, but now she's prepared for her worst nightmare, that Michael will one day return and she can get her revenge. This movie is all about the hunt.
Everyone in my family turns into a nutcase this time of year. Yeah, I mean, your grandmother is Laurie Strode. She was almost murdered.
Wasn't it her brother?
Now, little does Michael know, Laurie is stronger and smarter than ever. Using guns, knives, and traps, she makes her own personal house a hell for Michael.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
There are two actors that play Michael in this Halloween, Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney. Returning actor Nick Castle played Michael in the original 1978 film, where he first made Michael a masked killer. Believe me, he wasn't about to miss making this movie. According to an article on Vulture, James Courtney got all of his professional tips from a good friend, who happened to be a professional hitman. Freaky stuff, right? With the guy that has no lines in the film, he really has a lot to say. Now, I don't want to give away all the good parts of the movie, but in my opinion, I would have to say this is hands down best horror movie of 2018. Don't believe me? Well, you guys will just have to go check it out for yourselves. I'm Justine Smith, and this is my movie review.
Halloween hit the theaters October 19th, making a killer of $77.5 million. Pumpkins, pumpkins, and more pumpkins. That's all we've been talking about here at MystiCast, getting in the spirit of Halloween. Mandy Joyce shows us the best way to carve and prepare pumpkin seeds.
There's not a lot of flesh on the inside, so it's mostly hollow. Makes cleanup nice and easy. Normally pumpkins are full of flesh. This one's mostly seeds. This doesn't have a very thick rind, which is also good. Makes the carving aspect very easy. You'll never get 100% of the guts out, but you can always get pretty close. And now for the final part. Put your pumpkin seeds in the pan. Take some cooking spray. And just kind of mix them around to evenly disperse the flavor. And then if you're like me, you'll mix around and then add some more. And then when you're done, simply pop them in the oven. And you cook them till they look done, which usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes.
That's all we have for this episode of MystiCast. I'm Eva Holzer.
And I'm Nick Zeroff, and see you next time.